8 players remaining. 3,000. 5th through 6th, 4K. 4th place, 5K. 3rd place, 7K. Second place, 16K. And 1st place, a grand whopping $40,000.
Good God.
Take it out to the casino and put it all on blackjack.
That's what you would do, my friend.
Before I leave Vegas, I will put everything on blackjack.
I would wisely invest it in the future of esports.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, the map has begun, and down in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the only foreigner remaining. Give it up for Stefano! And in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent, coming from StarTale, coming from Korea, it is Bomber!
All right, here we go. Daybreak is the stage for this epic matchup. Bomber and Stefano going head-to-head here on Daybreak. A perfect map. I mean, some of the most straightforward, best games we see result on this map, Daybreak, and also a fantastic map for a Terran that likes to go mech.
Yes,
it is a great mech map for Terran. Terran's ability to control the middle of the map and prevent Zerg counterattacks. Really on Daybreak, the Zerg player only has those 3 main avenues of attack, and they all pass that Zelnaga tower. So if Bomber can take control over the middle of the map, well, I don't even know if he's going to go mech yet, but if he does go mech and takes control of the middle of that map, it can be very difficult for a Zerg player to handle.
All right, well, Bomber, don't forget that Stefano also has a very interesting playstyle when it comes to ZVT. He loves to, unlike other Zergs that I've noticed in the pro scene, he loves to get his 3rd hatchery down, get the Evo chambers going, get the +1/+1, go to +2/+2, get all the Zerglings and Infestors out, go eventually into that hive tech. But the difference maker really is while other Zergs place their macro hatch inside the base, Stefano, I've noticed, places it always at the expansions. He gets a little greedier, but because of that, he gets a much more dominant army. So keep your eyes out for that.
Yeah, he also gets a slightly quicker resupply time, but we do have a command center first here on the low ground from Bomber. He's probably going to follow this up with the double racks just to be safe. Sometimes players will opt for a single racks and then they'll go directly into 2 gas. I don't know. We'll just have to see where Bomber goes with this.
Oh man, Stefano now coming out with his Overlord, going to the bottom of the map first, and then he's going to probably cut it up at a 90-degree angle to get behind the Terran natural. He might even park it at the Terran ramp as well, where there are doodads that you can keep Overlords hiding and just scouting and waiting to see the movement of troops from Bombers. Stefano now finally finishing up his spawning pool, and we should see him grab a relatively quick 3rd as well. That's what I'm anticipating from Stefano.
Now, Bomber did follow this up with a single gas, interestingly enough, so he's just working off of 1 gas right now and a single barracks.
And it looks like he's finishing up his command center as well. Orbital command about to adjust started for Bomber at the main. And where do you think we're going to see Bomber go with this game? You mentioned before you don't know if it's going to be mech or not. You don't really know what strategy he's going to employ. But now that the gas has gone down, he hasn't grabbed a 2nd gas right away. What do you anticipate from Bomber?
Well, I mean, he still hasn't shown us enough to really determine what avenue he's going to go down. All of the options are still open to him. He could grab additional gases here. He could drop a factory at 100. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. We have the 1st factory down here, so he's probably going to drop a reactor here, swap it out, get some Hellions out on the map, take some map control.
Yeah, the barracks factory opening is a very common opening in TVZ. This is, of course, a little bit more delayed because he got the command center first. You can still get Hellions out across the map. It's a little bit more greedy. You can die to early harass, but Stefano, as we can see, did not open up with early aggression. He is just sitting back and macroing right now, finishing up a ton of drones. He's getting up to, I believe, close to 40 at this point, and a macro command center coming up inside the base. Wow, so he not only expanded right away, but he's also getting the CC up. He has no units at all.
No, and he also teched as well. Sometimes
so greedy.
Greedy in many different fashions. He's taking a greedy approach in tech. He's taking a greedy approach in economy, and he's really just banking on the fact that Stefano's not going to do any kind of early pressure here. He's not going to try for some sort of a Baneling bust. And to be honest, it's a really big risk because Stefano is a player that has shown time and time again that he will go with some sort of an aggressive all-in baneling bust. And he'll even follow it up with macro.
Stefano actually leaving 4 drones on his gas at the main. He did not keep it at 3-4, is actually being inefficient. So maybe the nerves here of being on the main stage affecting Stefano just a little bit. There you guys can see 4 drones on gas. And that is going to hurt a little bit. It's nothing too serious, but still. How do you feel about that, man?
Well, I feel like Stefano is human.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Every now and then, sometimes you leave 4 on gas and you're just doing so many things, you can't keep track of it and you can't keep your eyes on it. Now, over here we have Bomber making a very intricate wall in here. He's used his barracks with the tech lab and additional supply depots here to form this wall in at the front. He's also got stim coming, he has siege mode, and he's producing tanks off of the single factory. He's also gone ahead and got the double engineering bay going, so he has +1/+1 on the way. Talk about greed from Bomber here.
Yeah, he's going for all types of greed right now, as you mentioned before, economic and technology. We can see also that Stefano is rushing his double Evo chamber. He just finished it up. He has +1 armor on the way right now. Would not surprise me to see him get that +1 weapons. And as I mentioned, he will grab that 3rd hatchery first. Doesn't go for the macro hatch that a lot of other Zergs like to employ. It's a little bit greedier, but it gets him a much stronger economy.
It certainly does. Now, Stefano does have his +1/+1 going, melee and carapace, so I think we're going to see his, quintessential style of Ling, Infestor, possibly transitioning into Ultralisks. I've been talking to Stefano a lot recently, and I was asking him, here we have a Hellion getting picked off at the 3rd. I was asking Stefano why he is preferring Ultras over Broodlords lately. And he was telling me that players of Bomber's caliber, when you use Broodlords, they're able to circumvent your Broodlords and drop in your main, drop in your 3rd. Broodlords are just so slow, it's very difficult to deal with a player that can hit you at multiple places at the same time. Now, we have Bomber actually moving out on the field with 2 siege tanks and 8 Marines.
Yeah, it's a pretty paltry army right now.
Very risky.
Stefano at this point in the game has plenty of units on the field, 7 Roaches and 2 Zerglings, and he's making 9 more. There we go. So he's going to have a nice Roach army. Stefano actually making pretty much all-out Roaches here in ZVT, but he didn't scout necessarily Bomber going for all-out mech. That's usually the response you would go for when you see mass Hellions, mass tanks, Thors. Large amounts of Roaches are good against that, but Stefano investing in a lot of Roaches. It's still nice to have. You can combat the early units, but at the mid to late game, you really don't want to have too many Roaches because Marines will shred them.
Yes, certainly HD, but we have seen Zerg players starting to integrate Roaches more and more against Terran. The Zerglings act as an excellent buffer, and the Roaches follow up, and they do some pretty substantial DPS.
All right, well, it looks like we have an infestation pit coming down as well. 2 medevacs making their way over to the natural. And talk to me a little bit, Pain User, about how you feel Bomber being so many bases ahead. Yes, the Zerglings have blocked that command center, but Bomber is really ahead in bases right now. How do you feel about that? Personally, I think Stefano is the master playing behind in bases.
Well, Stefano is still up on 1 base. He has that top left expansion going, so he's going to be on 4 base here pretty soon. Bomber just now grabbing his 3rd, but you're right. For the time being, they're on even footing. They're on even bases. Stefano's 4th hasn't kicked in yet, and when a Zerg and a Terran are on even footing, you've got mules coming down. If you look at the Harvester count here, 91 drones for Stefano, 71 SCVs for Bomber, but the thing that really worries me here for Stefano is that Bomber's infrastructure is immaculate right now. He has all of the buildings he needs. He's continuing with those upgrades. 2-2 on the way.
2 medevacs flying out across the air as well. They did cross over that Overlord, so it looks like Stefano is probably privy to any type of medevac harass. In fact, sending all of his units over to the top left.
Certainly.
But one train of thought that I couldn't finish there was that I really think Stefano is one of those Zerg players who can play when he's even on bases. I've even seen him win matches when he's behind in bases. He's just got this uncanny knack to be able to play the unconventional style of not getting, always having a hatchery over your opponent. He can stay on even bases or even less bases, and he makes it work.
Oh, certainly. Stefano is a very, very scrappy Zerg player.
Here comes a bout of Forces, Pain User. That's quite a few Marines,
And
tanks, and some Marauders.
Stefano really has no idea. Take it away,
Oh
HD.
my god, these Marines are going to go up in here, and this is where Roaches really do not shine against large amounts of Marines. Those Roaches quickly scurry out of the battlefield and give up the hatchery. Stefano taking a big loss here. He will not have that extra base advantage any longer, and now we're about to see, can Stefano make this game his, even when he's even on bases? Will he confirm it or not? He's got infestors here. A couple of good fungal growths is what he needs to combat this army, and now he's running down to the bottom right. Good creep spread from him. How do you feel about that, Pain User? He just lost a base.
Stefano not really sure what to do here. I think he was moving his troops in position for a potential counterattack, but then you saw him bring his forces all the way back. Little bit of indecision here from Stefano. This is very uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah.
And also, he had no eyes on the northern part of the map. He was caught by complete surprise right there.
Well,
complete surprise.
What Stefano is also doing right now, Pain User, is you guys can see saving up supply capacity. He's waiting for Brood Lords to come out. He's got a Greater Spire on the way, so this game he wants to go for Brood Lords, but he gets a great fungal on those two medevacs. My goodness, that was right on the edge of those infestors' vision. He will be able to chain fungal it down. One more fungal ought to do it, and those two medevacs are done for. Meanwhile, there's a push, though. There is a push in the middle of the map. A lot of Marines unable to kill off that hatchery. Stefano wisely leaving some forces back at home. Stefano taking a huge edge there, killing off those two medevacs.
I don't know about that, HD. He is in a lot of trouble here. He's got siege tanks pressed through the mid here. His third is being attacked. Way to clean up that force of bio right there. But in the meantime, his fourth was taken out once again. Now he's pressing into where the siege tanks are in the middle of the map here, swarming with his Lings and Roaches, taking out several of the siege tanks here, and he's going to clean up the rest of the... Oh, no, he actually backs off.
Wow, he actually backed... Yeah, he backed off when those tanks were still there. There's only 2, 3, 4 tanks, and I'm surprised he didn't pick them off.
I know, he just handed Bomber a freshly baked cookie.
Well, Bomber is actually leaving the tanks there, so I guess he wants to bake the cookies even longer.
Not sure exactly why he left those tanks for him. It's a gift-wrapped birthday present. Tanks so important for a Terran player, and now they're still in position on his side of the map. So Stefano, unable to clear up those siege tanks, could come to bite him in the behind later.
It looks like Stefano really just playing a very hesitant, cautious game, waiting for Brood Lords to come out. He has 4 out on the field right now. He's going to need a lot more in order to combat this army.
One thing I have to mention, Stefano has not been able to get that ever so important 7th and 8th gas at the 4th. It is going to be so difficult for him to build enough Brood Lords to take out this army from Bomber.
Well, it looks like the Brood Lords have revealed themselves. Bomber immediately retreats. Bomber did know that Brood Lords would eventually be on the way. He did get +1 weapons on the air, and here comes some Zerglings coming in against the tanks. Good attack. And a couple of tanks here are going to go down. Will Bomber be able to hold his position here or not? Those Corruptors are striking the medevacs down, and the last tank has fallen. Bomber losing his entire army in the middle of the map. He doesn't have any Vikings at all. I noticed he was getting +1 air weapons, but he hasn't made a single Viking this game.
No, he does not have any
Here they
Vikings.
are on the way, though.
Yeah, they are on the way, and oh, here we go. It looks like Stefano is going to catch him
fungal.
unsieged again. Going to clean up his entire army there, and Stefano is just making all the right moves right now. He is playing so well.
And it looks like Bomber trying to keep that last tank alive. He was unable to do so, trying to produce 4 Vikings at a time. He's going to have to get those Vikings here right away. There's only a couple of infestors there. I only saw 2, so the fungal isn't something that he necessarily has to worry about. He needs to get those Vikings out, man, or this planetary fortress is going to get shelled by those Brood Lords. And it looks like, the Orbital Command, he's going to lift it off, fly it away. Good fungal, though. Good fungal by Stefano, and he's going to be able to attack this army, take it down, get inside the Terran Natural. Wonderful job by Stefano.
Absolutely beautiful moves here by Stefano. To be honest, I thought he was in dire straits. He was unable to grab his 4th, and look at him just ravaging the natural right now. Stefano playing absolutely amazing StarCraft 2 right now.
Yes, he is indeed. He's now inside the main, and he can kill off anything he wants. He's going to fungal those Marines, perhaps. No, he doesn't have enough energy, and there are Vikings up in the air, so he doesn't have anything to deal with those Vikings. Eventually, those Brood Lords may may fall, trying to use the labyrinth of the Terran base here to keep his base alive, and he's doing a pretty good job at that. If Bomber can hold on here, he's still got 3 bases. He might be able to mount some type of army, but it's looking very, very bleak as Stefano continues to flood in with more and more Zerglings.
And here come the reinforcement lings ravaging through Bomber's base, and they are going to clean up all of the reinforcements.
That's going to be
here.
all
and
heroes.
Stefano
taking the first game. Stefano is taking the first game, and can you feel the Cosmopolitan right now? Can you feel IPL4, man?
Yes, HD, I agree with you. The excitement is palpable, and what an important win in Game 1 right there for Stefano. If you look at him right now on screen, just looking rather relieved, it's a very, very important win for him. Anyway, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have Game 2 between Stefano and Bomber. So don't go anywhere.